A couple months ago, I did showcases all the way up to Thor Love and Thunder, and also Captain America showcases, Sam Raimi showcases, and Tom Holland showcases. Now we're on the road to Kang Dynasty. What is up, you guys, and welcome back into another Lightning Bricks video. And today we have my Ironman 2 showcase on the road to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. We got almost 20 figures here from Ironman 2. And yeah, this movie's old, but it's still is up there for my top Marvel movies of this date. And you are not seeing all the characters on the screen here, but we will get to every character in a moment. So make sure to like and subscribe and check out my other showcase Wednesdays and my MCU showcases. Without a further ado, let's get into it. So the first figure we have here is the Ironman Mark IV from the beginning of the movie at the Stark Expo thing. And for him, I used the torso from the Mark VII suit from the big Avengers Quinjet that released around December last year. I used these legs that come from the Mark III that give you the nice gold printing there and the nice feet printing. And then I used the newer style Iron Man heads. I know a lot of people don't like those helmets, but I think they're pretty neat. And then for the arms, I used the Rocket Raccoon poly bag to get that nice detailing on the arms. And then if you look up, the face underneath is just the Tony Stark face we've been getting since Infinity War and Endgame, and we've gotten it for a very, very long time. But yeah, I think that makes for a great look for the Iron Man Mark IV. At the end of the expo, we see Happy Hogan drive Tony Stark to Washington for the press conference thing. And so for Happy Hogan, I used the head from Bruce Wayne from the Robert Pattinson Batman movie sets. And then I used this hair from Commissioner Gordon from that line of sets. And I used the torso and legs from Alfred from that line of sets, which if you got that one set with all those characters, you could build almost this entire figure. And then I used some black arms and then tan hands to finish out Happy Hogan. And I think it's a really nice figure, but besides the back face printing. But no one's gonna know about that. And yeah, that is Happy. Next up, we see Tony Stark at the press conference in Washington. And for him, I used the torso and legs from Obadiah Stane from the Ironmonger Mayhem. And then I used this head from the Tony Stark from Iron Man 3. And you see his scared expression from his PTSD after the events of the first Avengers. And then I used this Superman hair in dark brown to give him that nice business look he's got in Washington. Next up, we got Rhodey, and this figure turned out really good. I used some dark blue legs, the torso from a GCPD officer from the old 2017 Batman sets, dark blue arms, reddish brown hands, and the head from Rhodey that you saw the heads up display. That's from the 2019 sets, the 2020 sets, a lot of different places. And then I used the hair from the Sam Wilson Captain America figure from the CMF. And I think that makes Rhodey turn out really great. Next up, we have Pepper Potts. And yes, I know this outfit doesn't appear in this scene, but she does appear in the Washington press conference scene. And so for her, I just did a basic look. I used some black legs, white arms, tan hands, the torso from a Slytherin person from Harry Potter, like one of the students, head and hair from the Ironmonger Pepper Potts, because who's gonna get better likeness from Pepper Potts than Pepper Potts? And yes, I know you can make the president or the governor or whatever his name is, I don't know what he is, but I don't think you'd really want to make him unless you were doing a stop motion, and then you might not even want to make him. But I still think Pepper Potts turned out great, but you could make that governor or president, or I don't even know what he is, but yeah, that is Pepper Potts. Next up, we have Justin Hammer, and I used the torso, arms, and legs from President Business from the Lego movie sets back in all the way in 2014. I used some tan hands, the head from Justin Hammer, which of course we're making Justin Hammer, so it makes sense. And then I used this hair from the dog trainer from the Lego CMF. It's come on many places, but that's where I got mine. And yeah, that is Justin Hammer. Next up, we have Tony Stark from when he's working in his workshop. And yeah, I know you could put some black arms with tan hands, like short sleeves, but I didn't do that because, I don't know, I think this option works just as good. But, so for this figure, I used the torso, arms, hands, and legs, all from the Malibu Mansion Tony Stark, because he's got that nice arc reactor. And then I used the face from the 2012 old Ironman figures. It was used on the 2013 Mark 42 as well, but yeah, I put some the dog trainer hairpiece that we used on Justin Hammer right here. But besides that, I think he turned out really good. If you wanted to, you could use a different Tony Stark face, like the one we used for the press conference look, which actually came on the figure. But I don't know, I just wanted to throw back to the old Avengers sets and put that head on there. And yeah, that is Tony Stark. Next up, we have Black Widow as Natalie Rushman, and I used the torso from Han Solo, so you get that nice open shirt. I used the head and hair from Black Widow from the most recent versions. And then I just put the Kylo Ren legs on there just to give her some printing on the legs. And yeah, I think that turns out for a really good Black Widow figure. Next up, we have Tony Stark from the racing scene. And I used... Now, this figure was hard to make because we don't have a shirt that says Stark across it for the racing suit. But I used my best options, and I used the torso from an ACU trooper from Jurassic World. I used these nice dual-molded legs from the, let me think of it, Sam Wilson Captain America figure from the CMF, which you will need for this hair that we used on Rhodey. And then I popped the arms on from that figure, because just look at that detailing. I put some black hands on there. I used the Tony Stark face that we've gotten since 2018. And then I used this hair piece that came on the Malibu Mansion Tony Stark we talked about earlier. And yeah, I think that is a good look. But we really do need a set of this scene from the movie with the racing scene, but we haven't got it yet, so hopefully we get it in the future. Next up, we have Whiplash from the racing scene, And for him, this was an interesting figure to build, but I used orange legs with this hip piece from an Arkham Asylum figure to give him that nice belt printing. And then I used the torso from Beach Batman with the arms and hands from that as well. I used the face from Whiplash because you can't get any better than that. This long hair that's come on Loki and Severus Snape from Harry Potter and a couple others. I used these translucent pieces from Ironman to give him whip effects. And then I used this neck bracket, this gray neck bracket piece with a blue stud. You could also make it a flat stud like we have here, but I couldn't find a blue flat stud, so I just went with my next best option. And yeah, that is Whiplash from the racing scene, and I think it's one of the best figures in the showcase. And then here we have it. We finally have the Mark V suitcase armor, which this armor, mine's a little beat up, but it is from the old Hall of Armor set from 2019 Endgame line of sets, but I do think this is the best you're gonna get. Yes, you could put the arms and the legs from the Silver Centurion, which I have seen a lot of people do, but then again, I don't have that figure because it's really rare. But yeah, this is the Mark V. And for the head under there, you could put Tony Stark. I just have it as the translucent head since that's the way it came. And yeah, this figure looks really good. But yeah, we'll move on to the next figure. Next up, we have the Ironman Mark II armor that Rhodey uses. You see mine has a little bit of damage. I don't know why my Ironman armors are like that. I've just had them for a long time. And yeah, you see the crack on the arm, but this whole figure is from, I think it was exclusive to the Lego store. It was a little Ironman armory set, not the $90 one, and not the 2019 one, but there was a little Ironman armory that came with like a couple armors, a suit rack, and a hot rod, like actual car build. But I don't know what that set was called. I think it was like an armory, but yeah, this is where that figure came from. And then for the head underneath, I just put a translucent head. You could put Rhodey's head in there, but I already have his head on the figure we saw earlier. And yeah, I think that's the most accurate you're gonna get. Even though you could put the helmet on there from the War Machine from the 2013 line of Iron Man 3 sets, but I didn't do that, so I think this still looks good. After that fight scene between Rhodey and drunk Iron Man, we get to Nick Fury talking to Tony at the donut shop, Randy's Donuts, and for the Nick Fury figure, I just used the 2020 figure or the 2019 same figure. But yeah, he just has that nice head printing with, you can even see the scratch a little bit under the eye patch, which is really cool. And then, yeah, that is just an extraordinary figure that I have a couple of, and I'm glad to have a couple of them because they're really neat figures. So yeah, that is Nick Fury. Around this time is where we see Black Widow in her full suit. And so what I did, I used the head and hair from the newer Black Widows. And then I used the torso, arms, and hands from that new Quinjet from the past December. And yeah, it just has those nice shield logos, the nice torso. And then I used the legs from the game version of Black Widow to show just a little bit more printing on there. And I think a little bit more printing makes the figure just a little bit better. Next up, we got Agent Coulson, and not a lot about this figure. He's the same from the 2017 set. I think it was 2017 or 2016. But the set that came with Justin Hammer and the Lola car. And yeah, there's not much better you can get. He even has a nice head around back there. And yeah, I did put the dog trainer hairpiece on him in the other version I made for Ironman 1, but I just went back to this hair for simplicity, so you don't have to get a whole nother figure. You could just get the Agent Coulson figure. And yeah, that is Agent Coulson. And this is around the time that we make it to the final battle, where we see the hammer drones at Stark Expo. And realistically, I seen a couple of videos that said you can use the Whiplash figure as a hammer drone, but I wanted to be creative and make my own hammer drone. So I used the helmet from the Striker Ironman suit from the Armory set. I used the torso flipped around from Cyborg, and then the Mark 1 Ironman legs. I don't know, it's kind of a bad figure, but I put a clear head underneath because it's a drone. But I don't know, it's not that good, but I just wanted to make something different than what this was. But yeah, I still think the other one looks good. I just wanted to try to make this, but I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments, but it's not the greatest figure in this showcase. Next up, we got War Machine from the final battle. And this is one of my favorite War Machine figures we've gotten today. War Machine is one of my favorite superheroes, and I love that we can get a great version of him. And this figure is from the Armory set, and you can tell because it's got those newer helmets there. And I just put a blank head because we already used Rhodey's head on the other figure. And I also like this figure because he's got the lightsaber piece, and they made it into like a gun for him to have. So yeah, I think Rhodey in the War Machine Mark II suit looks really good, and there's not much better you can get than the figure that came in the set. Next figure we see is Whiplash in his final suit, where he fights Iron Man and War Machine. And yeah, this suit looks perfect right out of the box from the Armory set. And yeah, he's got a nice shoulder pauldron, which is from the Star Wars line of sets. And he's got this nice molded headpiece. Gave him this. I don't know why I just put those on all my Iron Man suits. But yeah, that is Whiplash. And our second to last figure is the Iron Man Mark VI suit. And now this suit is not the best because there is an old Mark VI suit that would look really good with the triangle chest. But sadly, I could have got it the other day, but I don't know why I didn't get it. It was $20 for the older set that he came in, but I just didn't pick it up because I picked up something else. And yeah, I regret not picking it up. But maybe by the first Avengers showcase, you will see that figure and I can add it to my collection. But for now, I will show you how to make a custom Iron Man Mark VI. So I use the helmet piece to throw back to those old helmets. The helmet piece comes from the Ironmonger Mayhem set. I use the torso from the Ironman Armory Mark 85 to get the triangle chest piece, red arms, red hands, and then the legs from Mark 3 to just round it out. And like I said, not the best, but for now that's what I have to use because I skipped out on that Ironman 6 figure. I don't know why, but I just skipped out on it. But yeah, that is custom Ironman Mark 6. Next we have the kid that Iron Man saves in the final part of the movie, and they actually came out and said that this little kid was Peter Parker, so I was like, he's a superhero, so we had to make it. I used the torso from Harry Potter, black legs that also came in the Harry Potter sets, this Iron Man helmet, and then just to be funny, I put a Spider-Man head underneath just to let you know that that's Peter Parker when he was a little kid. And yeah, that was my showcase, and we'll round it out. And yeah, guys, that was my showcase on Iron Man 2. And yeah, I haven't done any showcases for the Iron Man movies besides the ones we've done for the Kang Dynasty. And these movies are really great. I think the customs turned out really good. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks for, I think is it Thor? Or is it Captain America? I think it's Thor. So next showcase will be Thor, and then Captain America, the first Avenger, and then the Avengers. And then we got a long way to go before Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, but we'll get there eventually. And yeah, this has been the showcase brought to you by Lightning Bricks. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace out.